We are just minutes away from Raw action, coming to you live from Trenton, New Jersey. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler, and what a show we have tonight.
I know, JR. Of course, when you've got the superstars of Raw, you know that every show's going to be a great one.
No doubt about it, King. Trenton is fired up for the Raw superstars, and I know they're going to return the favor here tonight. That's no way for a referee to behave.
Oh, no! I don't like the looks of this.
He's got the fans behind him, King, and his opponent had better watch out.
You gotta respect the commitment and the dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. Every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
He saw that one coming. You can look at any professional sport you want, JR, and you won't find more incredible athletes than the WWE superstars.
You're not wrong, King. They compete every week until they are... It's unusual to see a referee get so involved in a match, to say the least.
We better tell the cameraman not to go for any close-ups on Chris Benoit, JR. We don't want people's TV screens cracking.
I don't think Benoit ever won any beauty contest, King. That's probably because he was too busy putting his body on the line year after year.
I guess that's what makes him a special referee, JR. Oh, man. I've been in this hole before, JR. This brings back some bad memories.
I can understand why, King. I can't even imagine the pain being inflicted here. This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace.
What a reversal. I'm sure these competitors have studied each other very carefully.
This match would be over by now if they hadn't, JR. You never get into the ring without doing your homework.
That would be a recipe for disaster for sure, King. These superstars are in terrific shape, and that comes as no surprise whatsoever.
No kidding. If you don't have the conditioning, you're not going to last long in a match.
Oh, boy, this is not going to be an easy hole to escape from.
It sure isn't, JR. I've been on the wrong end of that one many times. Watch out! He reversed it!
This referee's playing by his own rules.
Wow! There's a hole you don't want to find yourself in, JR.
You sure don't, King. We've seen many a superstar tap out to this one.
Seems like our special referee is showing a little bias here, JR.
Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can't, JR, and I don't think we'd have it any other way. I don't think the referee is supposed to be doing that. I am so glad Chris Benoit...
And there's the submission. There might not be any way out of it.
There'd better be, but we're going to see a tap out right here.
Oh, for the love of... That's not the way a referee should behave. I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR.
And it's been reversed.
Chris Benoit thinks he's the toughest superstar in the WWE, but I think he's lying through his tooth.
Well, you
know, JR, I don't think this referee is completely impartial.
1,
You're not going to win a match by insulting your opponent.
No,
5,
but
6,
having the crowd
7,
behind you can certainly
8.
get the adrenaline pumping.
I can't believe he countered that one. Boy, these superstars sure have their hands full.
What a submission hold! Could this be a tap out?
It is if the hold can't be broken. You can't take this kind of pain for long. Looks like the rules are going straight out the window, JR. I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear.
His opponent telegraphed that one. This referee isn't afraid to get physical with the superstars.
I think this crowd's giving these superstars a piece of their minds, King.
Are you sure they can afford it, JR?
The only thing special about this referee is his total lack of respect for the rules.
I think this one could go either way, JR.
It sure could. Until the referee calls for the bell, this is still anyone's match. It looks like they've decided to slow the match down a bit here.
And this could be a big mistake, JR. You don't ever want to give an opponent time. That doesn't seem exactly fair. But who's going to disqualify the referee?
Boy, when you look at these...
Looks like the referee's really got it in for him.
Spike Dudley used to be such... Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring. Look at this, JR. Can you imagine SmackDown putting on... That submission is locked in, JR, and this is a tough hold to break.
It sure is, King. And even if you break the hold, it takes its toll. So much for having an impartial referee.
The intensity of these...
I think we need a referee for our referee. That's not exactly conduct becoming of a WWE referee.
Listen to the crowd, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
So much for calling this one right down the middle. I'm not sure I agree with what the crowd is chanting, JR, but I guess it's their right.
You're damn right it is. It comes with the price of admission. Come on. You're supposed to be the referee, for God's sakes.
Wow. Listen to these fans, JR.
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
Looks like the referee's taking matters into his own hands, JR.
This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it.
Why even have a referee if that's the way it's going to be?
Oh, boy. These fans have got something on their minds, JR.
Well, they paid for their tickets, King, and they've got a right to say whatever they want.
No matter who wins this one, everyone's going to feel the effects.
Excellent counter. What ring presence. You're just going to throw out your back if you keep that up.
Don't quit on my account. I love watching this. I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a hotly and he's got his opponent locked in a submission hold.
We can see a tap out right here, JR. Can you believe we're actually watching these superstars go at it, JR?
It's great to see, King. I've been looking forward to this match for a long time, and I'm glad to see that it's not a disappointment.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking...
I don't know if his opponent has what it takes to kick out.
He's not going to get caught with that one.
It looks like they've slowed the match down a little, and I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well. The submission has been expertly applied, and now it's just a matter of time.
That's right, JR. You've either got to break the hold or get broken by it. This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, that makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that.
These superstars are going to tear each other. He's really cranking up the pressure on that hold, JR.
He sure is. There's no doubt he's looking for the submission right here.
Now remember, kids, whatever you do, don't try this stuff at home.
Absolutely not. Even these trained professionals wind up pretty badly banged up after a match. Oh no, that last shot busted him open, and the blood is flowing freely.
This is great, JR. Where else besides the WWE can you see this kind of ruthless aggression?
I can't think of anywhere else, King, but I'm afraid I don't share your enthusiasm for this kind of brutality. Would you look at that? A blatantly illegal maneuver. That should be a disqualification.
You might be right, JR, but I don't hear the ring bell. This match is still going. Looks like things have quieted down here a bit, JR.
Well, you can be certain that won't last long, King.
That's for sure. I haven't seen the superstar yet who goes down without a fight.
I'll tell you what, King, the WWE superstars are about the greatest athletes you'll find in any sport, period.
What do you mean, just about, JR? Can you actually think of anywhere else that you can see athletes of this caliber?
I was just going for a little humility there, King. I'm not surprised it was lost on you.
Uh-oh. Talk about a hole you don't want to find yourself in.
No kidding. This will rearrange your anatomy.
I can't even imagine what these superstars will put each other through.
Seems like someone's having a hard time remembering how to count. These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling. That's it. That's all she wrote.